Bate, Tafarel! Vai partir! Vai que é sua, Tafarel! Partiu, bateu! Acabou!
24 years of waiting, a drought that haunted a nation obsessed with football. The FIFA World Cup in 1994 marked Brazil's return to glory, a tournament filled with iconic goals, unforgettable moments, and a team that redefined what it meant to play for the yellow and green jersey. This is the story of Brazil's path to their fourth World Cup title. Brazil began their World Cup campaign on June 20th, 1994, against Russia. This match set the tone for their tournament: disciplined, determined, and deadly. Romário, the team's talisman, opened the scoring in the 26th minute with a composed finish, showcasing the poise that would define his tournament. In the second half, Brazil doubled their lead. Romário was fouled in the box after a dazzling run, and Rai calmly converted the resulting penalty in the 52nd minute. The match ended 2-0, a confident start for the Seleção. Next up was Cameroon on June 24th. Brazil dominated the game but had to remain patient to break the deadlock. In the 39th minute, the breakthrough came. Bebeto delivered a perfectly timed pass, and Romário made no mistake, slotting the ball past Songo'o with trademark composure. It was Romário's second goal of the tournament, and it put Brazil in the lead. In the 66th minute, Bebeto delivered a perfectly floated ball into the box, and Márcio Santos scored a second goal with his header. Bebeto added a third in the 73rd, securing a commanding 3-0 victory. The final whistle confirmed another commanding win for Brazil. With 6 goals scored and none conceded in their first 2 games, the Seleção looked every bit like World Cup contenders. The final group game saw Brazil face Sweden on June 28th at the Pontiac Silverdome in Michigan. Both teams had already secured their places in the knockout stages, but this match would decide who topped the group. Sweden, with their disciplined defence and clinical attack, posed Brazil's toughest challenge yet. Sweden struck first, with Kenneth Andersson capitalising on a swift counter-attack in the 23rd minute. His powerful shot left Tafarel with no chance, marking the first time Brazil had trailed in the tournament. The pressure was now on the Seleção to respond. Brazil pushed forward in search of an equaliser, with Romário and Bebeto linking up brilliantly. However, Sweden's defence, marshalled by Patrick Andersson and goalkeeper Thomas Ravelli, held firm, frustrating the Brazilians and keeping them at bay for the rest of the first half. But as always, Romário came to the rescue. Just 2 minutes into the second half, he received a through ball just outside the box, dribbled into the penalty area while under pressure from defenders, and then finished with a precise right-footed shot past goalkeeper Thomas Ravelli. Despite Brazil's efforts to secure all 3 points, the match ended 1-1. Both teams advanced to the knockout stage, with Brazil topping the group thanks to a superior goal difference. On July 4th, Brazil faced the United States in the round of 16 at Stanford Stadium. With the crowd buzzing with American pride on Independence Day, the match promised to be a fierce battle. From the start, the game was physical and tense. Both teams traded early chances, with Bebeto testing the American defense and the US threatening on counterattacks led by Eric Winalda. However, both goalkeepers, Tafarel for Brazil and Tony Meola for the US, were in fine form, keeping the game scoreless. The match's turning point came in the 43rd minute. Brazil's left-back Leonardo was sent off for a reckless elbow on Tab Ramos, leaving the Americans incensed and the Seleção down to 10 men. Despite the setback, Brazil regrouped during halftime, adjusting their shape to compensate for Leonardo's absence. The US pushed forward, buoyed by their home crowd, but Tafarel's composure and the Brazilian backline held firm under pressure. Then, in the 72nd minute, Brazil's golden moment arrived. Romário broke free on a counter-attack, weaving through defenders before laying off a perfectly timed pass to Bebeto. With precision and calm, Bebeto slotted the ball past Tony Meola, silencing the home crowd and giving Brazil a 1-0 lead. The final whistle brought relief and joy for Brazil. The 1-0 victory was hard-fought and earned despite adversity. Brazil advanced to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinal clash between Brazil and the Netherlands on July 9th, 1994, was one of the most thrilling games of the tournament. This match showcased 2 teams with contrasting styles. The first half was tightly contested, with both sides probing for weaknesses. Despite the effort from both teams, the first half ended goalless, with all the drama reserved for the second. Brazil came out stronger after the break, and in the 53rd minute, Romário delivered the breakthrough. Jorginho sent in a perfectly placed cross, and Romário was there to finish with a deft touch past De Goey. It was his 4th goal of the tournament, and it gave Brazil a crucial 1-0 lead. 10 minutes later, Brazil doubled their lead. A quick counter-attack saw Bebeto race past the Dutch defence, and with composure, he slotted the ball into the net. His iconic cradle celebration followed, a tribute to his newborn child. At 2-0, Brazil looked in control, but the Dutch weren't done yet. Just a minute after Bebeto's goal, Dennis Bergkamp pulled one back for the Netherlands, finishing off a precise cross to make it 2-1. The Dutch, sensing an opportunity, ramped up their pressure. In the 76th minute, Aaron Winter rose above the Brazilian defence to head the ball into the net, completing the comeback and levelling the score at 2-2. Then came Branco's moment of magic. In the 81st minute, Brazil earned a free kick just outside the box. Branco, known for his powerful left foot, stepped up and unleashed a thunderous strike that curled past De Goey and into the net. The Cotton Bowl erupted as Brazil regained the lead, 3-2. When the final whistle blew, Brazil celebrated a hard-fought win in what many consider one of the World Cup's greatest matches. In the semi-finals, Brazil faced Sweden once again, just 2 weeks after their group stage meeting. But this time, the stakes were even higher, a place in the final. The match was played at the iconic Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and with both teams fully aware of each other's strengths, it was a tactical battle from the outset. Sweden defended resolutely, staying compact and organised, while Brazil pushed forward relentlessly. Romário and Bebeto worked tirelessly to break through, and Dunga orchestrated from midfield. But the Swedish defence, led by Patrick Andersson and Thomas Ravelli, held firm. As the match wore on, Brazil's dominance grew, and Sweden's resistance began to falter under constant pressure. Finally, in the 80th minute, Brazil found their breakthrough. Jorginho delivered a perfectly weighted cross into the box, and Romário, always the man for the big moments, rose high to meet it. His precise header flew past Ravelli and into the net, sending the Brazilian fans into raptures. With the lead in hand, Brazil controlled the final minutes of the match, keeping possession and ensuring there were no late surprises. When the final whistle blew, Brazil celebrated a hard-fought 1-0 victory, their ticket to the final secured. It was their first World Cup final appearance since their legendary win in 1970. The final, on July 17th, saw Brazil face Italy, a rematch of the iconic 1970 final. This time, it was a clash between two defensive powerhouses. Both teams had conceded just a handful of goals throughout the tournament, and the match reflected that cautious approach. The game was a tactical battle from start to finish. Brazil, led by Romário and Bebeto, pressed for openings, while Italy relied on Roberto Baggio to create magic. Despite a few half-chances, neither side managed to find the back of the net in regular time. In extra time, the tension grew as both teams tired under the Californian heat. Brazil continued to probe, with Romário coming close, but Italy's defence, marshalled by Franco Baresi, held strong. After 120 minutes of football, the match remained goalless, and the World Cup final headed to penalties for the first time in history. The shootout began, and the pressure was immense. Brazil converted through Romário, Branco, and captain Dunga, showcasing incredible composure under pressure. Tafarel, Brazil's goalkeeper, made a crucial save to deny Italy's Daniele Massaro, putting Brazil on the brink of glory. Then came the decisive moment. Roberto Baggio stepped up, needing to score to keep his team in the game. But his shot soared over the crossbar, and Brazil were champions once again. Their fourth World Cup title, and their first in 24 years, was secured. This team, led by the brilliance of Romário, the creativity of Bebeto, and the leadership of Dunga, etched their names into football history. The 1994 World Cup marked the return of Brazil to the pinnacle of world football, a triumph that united a nation and reminded the world of the magic of the Seleção. Brazil's 1994 World Cup campaign was a story of resilience, brilliance, and unity. With Romário leading the charge, they proved why they are the most successful nation in football history. What's your favourite memory from this iconic campaign? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more legendary football stories.